Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Yes, and welcome to a Write That Down edition of Purple Daily here. Oh no, button bar freezing. Just like the Timberwolves last night, freezing.
Hey.
In Game 5. Judd and I are on absolute fumes here, going to bed at like 2 o'clock in the morning after a Flagrant House post-game show. It is fun to have some May playoff runs happening here, but this is Purple Daily. Daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. It's the only show in America that actually keeps track of our predictions with statistics, which we will do on today's show. It's also a happy schedule release day, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Gentlemen, we get the schedule tonight.
And we already know one game.
We do.
Week 5.
London.
Is it 5 or 6?
New York Jets in London, yeah.
So it's October 6th.
I did the math here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Week 5.
Yep.
Is it Tottenham Stadium or what?
Yep.
What are
Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Where the Hotspur play
Yes.
soccer.
Yes. So Aaron Rodgers not coming to Minneapolis. Oh, that's a shame.
It is a shame,
Yeah, kind of a weird game to tuck away, you know?
Yeah, I thought it would be the Colts or the Texans as I predicted on my mock schedule, but I'm glad it's not the Texans because Daniil's coming back here. Oh yeah. Oh, it's the mock schedule. You can
the buzzer's
hit
back, by the way.
Yep. You could hit the buzzer a lot.
So we'll get to it. We'll explain how Write That Down works, get to an accountability session, all those things. But first, a shout out to our friends over at Quick Trip, Judd Zolgan.
Quick Trip is arguably one of the most convenient places on the planet. And you're saying, what, Sports Dad? What are you talking about? I'm talking about, look, you stopped to get gas. You walk in, you need groceries. Look right there. I mean, wait, is this a grocery store? No, it's a Quick Trip, but it's just as good. So you talk about convenience. You talk about one-stop shopping. You're talking about Quick Trip. They basically allow you on, let's say, your way home from work, if you're tired, to make your experience as easy as possible, quick, easy, and the other nice thing is always offering a great value. That is our friends at Quick Trip.
Amen. All right, let's pop this up here on the screen for the YouTube audience. Here's how Write That Down works. 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable predictions. Those are the rules. We keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns. And if you want to be a guest listener participant, like our guy Eric is about to make his debut on Write That Down, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app, and we'll get you scheduled for some time in the coming week. So, okay, let's start with Judd. Actually, 3 things coming off the board here in the dead of the offseason for Judd. We'll start with the bad. You said the Vikings game in London will be against the Colts.
That was my ideal pick.
Is that what you mocked?
The Colts.
Did you mock the Colts?
No, I mocked the Texans because of what I had heard from
someone on the show.
From various people that might work or might not on the show.
Declan was like pretty confident there.
I was told it was the Texans from a very reliable, very credible.
It could have been changed.
Source, and it could have been changed. Also though, Tyler Forness laid it out. Teams have played 2 games in London before.
Well, the Jaguars, right? Haven't the Jaguars done it?
So, I mean, I think it's okay to take this off the board, but it is possible they could have 2 London games.
Okay. If that happens, we will revisit this.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with you. Yeah.
I don't think it'll happen.
No,
but
it
is
no
possible.
So you also said Tom Brady will not take over as the lead analyst for Fox commentary, and I guess technically we could wait until he actually takes the microphone because, you know, Tom has changed his mind last minute on things before. But Fox is heavily promoting Week 1, Tom Brady in the booth. It's like a Browns game, right? I don't even know who's playing.
And I believe he's going to be at the upfronts maybe today to pitch the Fox thing. So
he's already saying he regrets the roast because his kids watch the roast.
Okay, dude, if your kids were allowed to watch that roast, then you and Giselle got bigger problems than that roast.
I think they have big problems,
I
which
think they
is
do
why
have
they're
big
no longer
But
together.
I'm saying, like, who on earth allows their kids to watch a roast like that?
Well, his kids are old enough to
Yeah.
find devices, right? It's not
Yeah,
like they're
and
6 years old.
I was like the fan. Like my family allowed us to watch. Like I saw Beavis and Butthead in theaters, and I was like 6. Okay, like parenting skills when it comes to entertainment and television. Those are some things I don't really.
It's
have
tough to
questions
corral,
on.
man. There's screens everywhere.
Grand Theft Auto, like
Well,
it just
then be aware that they were going to watch it. Like there was. Look, don't apologize now.
I love Judd parenting advice. He gave some great
Go
parenting
Barkley
advice
on it. Just
yesterday too.
be like, I let the kids. Well, you know what? I use common sense parenting advice for things I know, which is I know what athletes should and should not do. Beyond that, I do not tell the commoner. I do not tell the people like me what to do. Being a
Yes, you
parent
do.
is hard.
Yeah, no, you do. It's fine.
You
Like,
do though, but it's okay.
Not too often.
By the way, Grand Theft Auto reference, man, that was probably my all-time favorite video.
My
game.
kids
I
wouldn't
think,
have had that.
is
I
it
would
this
not have allowed
fall?
my kids to
I
have
think
that.
it's this fall. The brand new one comes out where it's based. So it's basically Miami, but it's not Miami.
Oh, so we already did the Vice City one
Vice
like
City.
20 years
so
ago.
This new one is kind of a revamped, new story, kind of like Vice City, but on steroids. The graphics look incredible.
Okay.
I'm very excited.
You ever get
I'm gonna
done
get it.
back in the day? It's been like probably 18 years since I've played Grand Theft Auto, but like you put in like a 6-hour session,
Oh yeah,
and then you get in your real car, and for like 30 seconds, oh wait,
you think? Or
yeah, no,
or
I
you
can't.
see-
I can't just drive anywhere I want, go off of the side of this barrier.
anytime you see like the truck with the on ramp, you're like,
Yeah.
I can jump that truck. I can totally jump that truck.
So we'll get Judd some sort of Grand Theft Auto tutorial
No,
here.
thank you. No, thank you. Appreciate that.
You did say Sam Darnold would wear number 14 for the purple, and I believe that's official now. Number 14. So 1 for 3.
All right.
I had one come off the board. I said, in a battle of the UFL's 2 best teams, the Battlehawks would upset the Stallions, and man, came right down to the wire. It was a 1-score game. I think my Battlehawks blocked a punt at one point late. Couldn't cash in.
How do you even know that?
Jeremiah Searles was texting me play-by-play because
Oh, okay.
he has staked claim to the Stallions. So
Okay.
still on the board here for the listeners who had nothing come off the board this week. Matt said Kirk Cousins will be comeback player of the year in 2024. Did you guys see that awkward exchange at the press conference yesterday?
Yeah.
Where a reporter asked, hey, would you have signed with the Falcons if they had told you up front that they were going to draft a quarterback with their first-round pick? And he awkwardly kind of cackled and said, I don't deal in hypotheticals. I'm just here to take advantage of a great opportunity, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, what happens when? But here's what's weird is, so you don't deal in hypotheticals that we know to be true now, like that. It's sort of
Well,
it's very
but the
Kirkian.
reporter, I'm going to defend Kirk here, actually. The reporter is putting him in a hypothetical situation from like 2 months ago, saying, because at the time they didn't have another quarterback from.
But the genius is we know that he's gotten upset before when a team will say, hey, let's say the Vikings had said, hey, Kirk, we're going to draft your replacement, which we all think they did, and Kirk's like, okay, I'm good, bye.
Did I see right? Now I'm just like third hand speculating here. Did he go on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast this week?
Yes, that's where this started.
Okay, but he said to and I haven't listened to it yet, but he said to those guys, the Vikings went to him in 2021, and said that, hey, we may draft a quarterback early. They gave him a heads up. Who were the quarterbacks in 2021?
Well, they were trying to draft
Lance?
Justin Fields in
Fields?
the
Was that the
year
Fields
that
draft?
they traded back and took Darisaw. They were trying to. The Bears jumped the highest the Vikings could have gone, I think.
So that was the Fields draft.
Yeah.
It went Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, and then Justin Fields, Mac Jones.
Justin Fields was 6th, right?
He was 11th.
11th.
And the Vikings
11th, okay.
Vikings were
That's right.
initially in like that the 14 spot or the 12. And that and then they moved back to 23 to get Darisaw.
Yep.
And picked up some extra capital. So anyhow, we'll see if he wins comeback player of the year as Matt predicted there. Okay, and then Declan, nothing off the board. Still on the board for Declan. You said there will be a new addition and a subtraction from the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show. We saw the Jason Kelsey news for ESPN become official yesterday, but still all quiet on the Fox front. CBS, big shakeups, ESPN. Well, Tom Brady is the Fox shakeup, but that's not the studio show.
Right. Right. There might unfortunately be only one way that this prediction comes true.
Death.
Yeah.
I'll ride with my sports dad here on the more.
I'm not joking.
Yes, I'm with Judd. I 100% with you.
But like
yeah,
you know, Terry Bradshaw's not young. Jimmy Johnson's not young. Like you've got guys that are just old.
Every year they go in. Those executives just go in knowing that show's fine. First, like they have never. The latest shakeup was Strahan in 2007. That was
Gronk's
17 years
right?
ago. What?
But Gronk's like a contributor once in a
Gronk
while.
get thrown in?
And he's just
I don't really watch it.
Goofball.
It's hard to take Gronk. I mean, Gronk, first of all, he's not like an analyst, and I don't think he's that funny.
He's not funny. He's not funny. Those USAA commercials, like I actually think that Gronk does think he can get USAA. It is a good spokesman for it because I actually think he's dumb enough to think he does qualify.
I love it.
So here's the updated statistics. Declan with his post-draft destruction of, write that down, is at 56% completions. I'm just under 37%. Judd just under 32%. Listeners at 29%. Declan, Judd, listeners all with 2 touchdowns. I have 1 on the season. The stats run from Super Bowl to Super Bowl, so we are about a quarter into the 2024 season. All time, going back to 2021, Declan with a 37% completion percentage, Judd 35%. I'm at 33%, listeners 23%. I lead with 47 touchdowns, but Declan closing in with 43 touchdowns. So, okay, boys, let's get our guy in here. Eric making his write that down debut. What's going on, Eric?
What's up, guys? Away we effing go. Let's go.
Dude, Eric looks a little like Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, you guys got it. Let's go.
It's the cheekbones, it's the jawline, man.
The
you got
smile, the hat. Yeah, dude.
I shaved just for it, too. I was like, I got to look like my main coach.
Let's go, man. So, yeah, when did you become a Vikings fan? Tell us your background, Eric.
So I grew up in Southern California back in '88, and obviously no football teams around that time. So I started watching football around 10. I saw the Broncos win. I was like, oh, these guys are kind of cool. Terrell Davis, Elway. And I was like, okay, I got a poster of Terrell Davis. But then I saw these guys in purple. And then seeing Robert Smith out there, he was my favorite running back. And I was like, wait, I like these guys. And then someone told me they've never won a Super Bowl. And I'm like, that's my team. I like the underdog. And I'm not a bandwagoner because they've never won anything. So I jumped on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you can't be a bandwagon fan if the team you're jumping on the bandwagon for has never won a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Love it, man.
So did you like the Broncos then in '98 when they beat the Falcons to win the Super Bowl?
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so you got the best of both worlds because you missed one of the most gut-wrenching, heart-tearing out losses in Vikings history. But then you got on after that, so you're a smart man.
Yeah, but I still got my heart ripped out a couple times.
I'm not questioning that.
Yeah, it hasn't been
2009,
completely smooth sailing. So we'll start with Eric. We'll go to Judd, Declan, back to me. We'll make 3 trips around the room here. The floor is yours.
Write this down.
Eric, what's your first prediction, man?
Awesome. So I got lucky. The NFL schedule comes out today, so I get to make the first prediction about that. Or I know you guys already did, but I'm like, I got it right. First step. So I'm going to try to predict the very first game that the Vikings are going to play. And in the 2024 season, the Minnesota Vikings will be at the New York Giants. I can't tell you why I think this, but I think they're going away to the New York Giants and playing.
All right.
Fair enough.
So it could be Giants week 1. I heard there was some reckless speculation. Mm-hmm. Was it like Nick Wright or was one of those Fox shows flipping around that if the Giants have another season like last year, that they'd blow everyone out and then bring Bill Belichick back to New York for the first time since he was defensive coordinator in the 80s.
They did announce their Hard Knocks this year. The Giants. The Giants get Hard Knocks. That came out this morning.
Interesting. So The always entertaining Daniel Jones is going to be a
my guy
centerpiece.
Drew Lock going to be taking that job week 1. It'll be great.
That wouldn't be shocking if he wound up, maybe not week 1, but like week 5 or something.
Write this down.
Might be some predictions later. Yeah.
I bet you that Brian Dable has a great vocabulary. I bet we're going to get a lot of F-bombs. I cannot wait.
I think you're probably right.
That's a great F-bomb guy. All right. I will stay on the schedule prediction front since it is going to come out tonight. The Vikings will have a Sunday, Thursday, and 2 Monday night games on their initial schedule release. So they'll play on a Sunday, they'll play on a Thursday, and they will be doubled up on Monday. So as far as their primetime games go, on their initial, clearly initial. This could change with flexing. Could be some flexing. Stuff.
Could be some flexing.
Flexed in, flexed out. Sometimes you're flexed, sometimes you're not flexed. That is my first schedule prediction.
I just feel like 4 primetime games for this Vikings as currently constructed is just a lot.
The Thursday night one's weird because you're going to get one of those, and I almost don't really count that as a true primetime game. But the Sunday night game is the marquee game, so that's why. And the Monday is important, but not as important as Sunday night because Chris Collinsworth. I mean, Declan. After all, when it comes to Chris Collinsworth.
Yeah, come on. You get your schedule released. You get Sunday night football, Monday night football. I just love all the primetime games. What are you gonna do? Are they gonna get 2? Are they gonna get 1? No one knows. It's just a blast to play football every week.
Dude, I'm gonna defend Monday Night Football for a minute. I think Monday Night Football has I don't know if it's quite back to the level that Sunday Night Football has been at, but with Joe Buck, Troy Aikman. The Manning cast, they've fought for better games and they've put games back on ABC, right? Like
but I found out why. So there's a fly in that ointment because I thought the same thing because that was cool to have games back on network television as we're used to it. They did it because of the writer's strike in Hollywood.
Also because they weren't showing.
They didn't have new shows to show.
A Million Little Things or whatever.
Yes. A Million Little
my
Pieces.
wife and I get sucked
Dawn
into
watches that. It looks like a terrible show. Those people are insufferable.
I think it was like 6 seasons. We determined at the end of season 2, we're like, I don't know, man, and we just kept watching it. You know how you just all right. It was good season 1, so let's just see if it comes back.
What's his face from Office Space?
Yeah,
was in that,
guy.
right?
Yeah, well, kind of. So they used
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
What's his name? Peter from
Peterman.
Peterman. That's how I remember him. Peter from
But the initial tease for the show before the first pilot episode. Yeah, Ron Livingston.
Yeah.
Was like starring Ron Livingston, but spoiler alert. They killed him off in the first episode.
Yeah, he jumped off a ledge, right?
And then the whole show is about like piecing together these gaps in his life and all these things.
I prefer a simulcast of Monday Night Football to that, but that's just me.
They did the same thing. We're down a side street right now. That Big Sky show. Did you guys ever watch that?
That was. I made it through 15 minutes. I was so jacked for that show.
Phil loved it.
But they did the same thing. It was season 1 was pretty good. But they teased Ryan. Not that Ryan Phillippe is like whatever. It's like Ryan Phillippe starring in this. They killed him off in the first episode.
Yeah.
Never to be seen again. So their budget was enough for like 1 episode of a big actual star that someone knows.
5 minutes of Ryan Phillippe. Imagine being that broke.
It's Ryan Phillippe. It's not like Leo DiCaprio.
Well, he was big. He was big, but not for like the last 20 years, right?
I don't think so. Okay, is it Declan's turn?
Yes,
I have no
it
idea.
is my turn.
Okay.
Yes. A couple schedule predictions for me too. I'm gonna make a week 1 kind of like umbrella prediction, but so the Vikings have not played an NFC North team in 2 of the 3 years with the 17-game schedule. They opened against the Packers in 2022, but outside of that, it's been Bengals and Bucks, and I believe that will still be the case. So the Vikings' week 1 opponent will not be an NFC North team.
Okay.
So I'm looking for an easy, just 2nd and 5, first down completion here. But sure. I don't believe they'll have an NFC North. They like to put the 2 games at the end of this season to create divisional rivalries.
Sometimes 3. Yeah.
Sometimes 3. So I think it'll be I'm kind of with Eric. I think it'll be like the Giants or someone else that's not in the North. So week 1 opponent, not in the NFC North.
Okay, write this down.
Write this down.
I'll make a schedule prediction here. The Vikings will play the Bears. This is a parlay. The Vikings will play the Bears in week 1 or week 2 and in week 17 or week 18.
Okay.
So their 2 games against the Bears are going to be within the first 2 weeks and then within the last 2 weeks. I don't know where. Now, if it's in Chicago, week 17, January, whatever, good luck to everybody involved. But it's going to be early Bears, late Bears on the schedule.
Write this down.
Okay, back to Eric.
All right. So I think the NFC North is one of the toughest divisions. I think it's going to be the most competitive. I know the Vikings may not be up there and all the other teams look ahead of us, but I still think it's going to be very, very competitive. So my next prediction is there will be 3 credible reports stating that the NFC North is the most competitive division in the NFL.
Okay. So we might need lawyer Chase on this one. So we need, like, how do we quantify this one?
Here.
Should we just say one?
Well,
just one, like a reporter or somebody?
Or do you want to quantify it by saying, like, at the end of the year, the NFC North will have the highest winning percentage? Or one of the 2 highest winning percentages?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Okay. Let's give Eric some space. By the end of the year, the NFC North will have one of the 2 highest winning percentages of any division. Because you're kind of saying, like, they're all going to be competing for the playoffs, right?
Yeah. But I don't know statistics. You know, I'm a PE teacher, so I just work on the mechanics. You know what I mean?
Sure. No, we'll help you mold this. We want you to get this point.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the sports dad here.
All right. One of the Vikings primetime games this season will be against the Detroit Lions. The Lions. I think someone's because we mentioned coming up on NBC. And sitting in for Mike Tirico will be Kenny Albert because it's a Lions Vikings game.
Welcome. It's Sunday Night Football on NBC. It's the Vikings and the Lions from Ford Field. It's Kenny Albert and Chris Collinsworth.
I think we got a Twitter response because we were talking about how long it had been, or that we couldn't remember the last primetime game between those 2 teams. I think it was like 2000.
Wow. What?
Yeah. They just don't play. I mean, the Lions don't play in prime time, and I don't think that they want one to burn like an NFC North game.
Was Barry Sanders playing in the last Vikings-Lions primetime game?
Didn't he retire after 99? I don't know that. If it was 2000, I think he had just retired. But, I mean, it's close enough to him playing.
Charlie Batch, starting quarter. Charlie Batch versus Dante
That's
Culpepper.
entirely possible.
Mm-hmm. Judd, did you want this to be on the initial schedule release? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Just on the, yeah. I'm not going to try and cheat my way to points through flexing.
I wouldn't have hated it.
No. I am an upstanding citizen.
Okay, back to Declan here.
All right. Next schedule release prediction for me: the Vikings bye week will come in week 9 or later.
Okay.
Week 9 or later for the
So
Vikings.
not after the London game then, right? Because
it would not be after the London game. So week 9, hopefully smack dab in the middle of your season, or later.
Okay.
It's a great buy if they get it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, write this down.
Write this down.
The Minnesota Vikings will play on either Thanksgiving or Christmas.
All right.
Netflix?
Write it down. Could be the Netflix thing's being reported now as official. We don't know the details of, at least as of the recording of this, of the games yet, but Netflix has secured the Christmas games according to credible reports. So the Vikings are going to play on either Thanksgiving or Christmas this year.
Write this down.
Write it down. Okay, back to Eric for his third and final prediction.
All right, I wouldn't dress like this man unless I really believed in him. I love KOC. I love his coaching style. I think he knows where he's taking us. I know last year wasn't the best, but I think that's because the fumbles and everything and no run game. But my last and final prediction, when the Minnesota Vikings win the Super Bowl, KOC will be the head coach, and he will take us there.
Somebody should have alerted me to get the flag. Thank God I got it right here.
Always have the flag.
There we go.
There you go. There's the flag. This is the home flag. This is not the draft party Fillmore flag, which was about 10 times the size of this flag.
Yeah, was that
You know,
heavy?
my goal, Judd, was to get you to do that without getting you to even saying it. So
you did a good job.
I achieved it. Yes.
You did a fine job. KOC, baby.
Awesome, man. Well, Eric, since you have this life-changing platform right now on Purple Daily, is there anyone in your life that you'd like to thank that helped you get to this pinnacle moment?
Well, I want to thank you guys first because I was bored walking one day and needed to listen to some Vikings stuff. And I found you guys, and man, you guys know how to get into the meat and potatoes. I know more about the Vikings than I ever have. And it was great. When I first started listening to you guys, I like to try to make predictions on like what you guys look like without looking at it. I thought Mackie would look like Judd and Judd would look like Mackie, but Declan, you look exactly like you sound.
With or without the mustache?
Without the mustache. No mustache.
Okay.
But yeah, I just want to thank my parents. They've always supported me. None of my family's been really into football, so I kind of had to find that on my own. And then I want to thank my friends. They're big Saints fans, Bronco fans, Packers fans, Raiders fans, but they all pay attention to the Vikings because I like them so much. And they look for their opportunities to get little jabs at me whenever they can. So
yeah, get them in now because now that JJ McCarthy and Kevin O'Connell are partnered up.
That's right. You
ain't gonna be laughing in a couple years,
coming soon.
Let's go, Judd.
The corner.
Awesome, man. Eric, great stuff, dude. Good luck with your predictions, and we'll definitely see you again sometime. All right.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
There he is, guest, listener, predictor.
I'm convinced that's Kevin O'Connell. He's hijacked.
Let's put that out on social and just say like
Kevin
O'Connell joins the show.
He could be his brother.
Could be.
From the features.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
From the future.
So before we make our final predictions here and get into a couple other fun items, let's shout out our friends at Aquaside here. It is lake season. Let's get rid of the murkiness.
It's finally windows open season. It's cabin season. It's been a glorious last week here in the Minneapolis-St. Paul, or if you're in a Midwest person area. And if you've been neglecting taking care of the bottom of that lake, or maybe you own a pond, you want to take care of that too, you don't know what the heck is even at the bottom, you've been waiting to diagnose and figure out what's there, our friends at Aquaside will not only help you diagnose what's going on in that lake or pond, but they'll help you take care of it with the Aquaside pellets, which are safe products registered with the EPA and the DNR. You can go to aquaside.com. Shipping is also free on their website, which is a great little perk. Go to aquaside.com to take care of that lake.
Also, hey, it's landscaping season, and Old Macadac is here on behalf of Bachman's to give you some pointers for landscaping. So you may not think about me in a landscaping way, gentlemen, because I've been kind of a city guy for the last 5 years. But I did grow up on a farm, a hobby farm, and we spent every summer doing landscaping. One time, my mom and stepdad had a dump truck full of like landscaping rocks dropped off. And so the dump truck drops off the rocks in this gigantic pile at the beginning of the summer. And 14-year-old Phil Mackey said, hey, so are they coming back to like spread the rocks around? And that's when my mom got a smile on her face, looked at me and said, no, here's your shovel. This is what you're going to be doing this summer. So maybe I should have gone to Bachman's and found something lighter than rocks for landscaping. But in terms of just maximizing your landscape's potential, you could just walk into Bachman's and put your hands up and say any of the 7 locations and say, please help me. I would love an outdoor patio oasis. Well, sunlight, water, and soil are the key components of healthy plants when it comes to landscaping. The amount of light your yard gets will change throughout the day as the shadows from buildings and tall trees and plants rotate with the sun. So shady spots in your yard can provide a nice break from the summer heat. Most plants will thrive in at least 6 hours of direct sunlight, which is typically referred to as full sun. Find out more information from smarter people than me about landscaping at Bachman's in the Twin Cities. 7 locations. Check them out at Bachman's. Okay, Judd, what is your third and final
Write this down.
prediction?
Another prediction that will come off the board this evening. My final schedule prediction is the Vikings will open on the road.
Okay.
The Vikings will open on the road. If you look at it, so when they played in London a couple of years ago, I believe that's the year that they opened at Cincinnati. Then they opened at home against Tampa Bay last year. So I'm guessing they will be sent back on the road this year.
Yep, and they have mathematically too. What do they have? 8. They have fewer home games, and then the London game is a home game.
8-1.
8-8-1.
8-8-1. Yeah. The Jets
they're
game.
getting one
The
stolen.
Jets game is a home game for the Vikings.
Yes.
So this is a year where the NFC teams get 9 home games,
Correct.
except the London teams that are giving one up, like the Vikings. Okay.
Yes.
Write this down.
All right, the Dexter.
All right, one last prediction for me, not schedule related, and actually a prediction I am pushing out into the future. A very rare air prediction here for me.
Wow.
We talked about Thayer Thomas on Purple Daily on Draft on Monday. Kevin O'Connell had some glowing remarks for him at rookie minicamp. Thayer Thomas was on the Vikings practice squad last year, but he participated at rookie camp this year. So write this down. Thayer Thomas will make the Vikings 53-man roster. I think he's going to be one of the last wide receivers and or might be your starting punt returner. I could see that being the case, too. He returned punts at NC State. He's 25 years old, too, so he's definitely a little bit older. But I think Thayer Thomas is going to make a run here, so he will make the 53-man roster. Write it down.
So we used to have the Mr. Mankato competition that started way back in the day, like 10 years ago, on the old Mackey and Judd radio show on 1500 ESPN. That, if you've ever heard like the Mr. Mankato term, that originated 10 years ago on our radio show. And then when they went to Egan, it was like, should we keep doing it? I don't know. Maybe we can evolve it, and instead of having like a committee, we should do like a Mr. Mankato draft, and the three of us and maybe some of our contributors, Miles and Tyler and whoever else, we can all have like a team of under the radar players going into camp, and then we have to follow and give updates on our Mr. Mankato team.
I actually love this idea. So we would draft like 3 players each. What would be the team?
We'd have to like put all the players that qualify, and the old qualifications were the spirit was under the radar performer, so 3rd round pick or later, or no NFL experience. So if you were, well, it would still have to. It's 3rd round pick or later, and you can't have had. So it could be like a 3rd round pick from 2 years ago, or a Dwayne McBride who hasn't like actually gotten to carry in an NFL game.
Okay.
Or undrafted guys.
Okay.
And we would put like all 30 or 40 of those guys in a pool, and then we would each draft like 5. And then we would update. I don't know if there's a scoring system. It's probably pretty tough to do that.
The scoring system might be tough.
But it'd be a way for us to keep tabs. And so you'd be responsible to update the other people on the show and the audience on your team of under-the-radar players going into training camp.
I like it.
Let's do it, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to forget unless I make a note right now.
That down.
So,
yeah, write that down. You like.
So we will. Let's start. Let's do that. We could just do like a Mr. Mankato draft here before, because what next week, Judd? Our OTAs are next week, right?
Yes, we have a Tuesday access. Actually, I'll be there on. I'll be there on Tuesday. Nice. I think there's also an on the field one on Thursday, but there's no access to that one.
Okay. So now
write this down.
It's on me for the final prediction here, right? Mm-hmm. Dex win. Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. One more schedule prediction. So the Vikings once again play the Seahawks. I feel like the Seahawks are becoming a division opponent, basically. They play them every year. And they're playing at Seattle. And unless I'm misremembering, I feel like every time the Vikings play at Seattle, it's like late in the year when the weather is awful. It's rainy and cold. So write this down. The Vikings will play the Seahawks after Thanksgiving. Or I'll say on Thanksgiving or later, because they could sneak a game in as like the 3rd Thanksgiving game or something. So Thanksgiving or later, the Vikings will play at the Seahawks.
Okay.
Crappy December, January Seattle weather. So there you go.
Sure down.
So I love Seattle. It's great.
So you're not there now, right?
No, I'm not there now.
You moved back?
It's been over.
Are you visiting?
Yeah.
You just here for the summer?
No, definitely here. No.
Okay.
Because I've seen you at Target Center. I'm like, that's Phil Mackey. And I told my wife, he moved to Seattle.
Yeah. For the audience that has no idea what we're talking about, I've probably had like 6 different local media members, like Minneapolis media members, like, so are you just visiting? I was like, no,
you're in town?
I've been back here for like a year and a half. Good to see you. Good talk though.
Oh, I'm loopy, but that's great.
All right. Those are your
write
that down predictions. The accountability session here. Let's tell the audience about our friends over at AG1 here for a moment. AG1 comes in really handy on a day like today, where the Timberwolves kept us up till 2:00 in the morning with our post-game show. You're loopy. You're maybe low on nutrients, whatever it is. Well, AG1 is constantly searching for how to do things better when it comes to your nutrition. 52 iterations and counting of their formula. Each scoop of AG1 contains whole food sourced ingredients that support gut health, focus, immune health, and much more. I first started taking AG1, one scoop mixed with my water, about 7 or 8 years ago. And now I've been all in on these little travel packs that you can see on the YouTube channel. And so if there's one product I had to recommend to elevate your health, maybe you're not Tom Brady and you're just getting the perfect nutrients through your diet, your food. AG1 is nutritional supplement here. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/purpledaily. That's drinkag1.com/purpledaily and check it out. And our friends at Nicolay Law are here as the exclusive personal injury law firm of Purple Daily. Nicolay Law knows that when you or a loved one gets injured, ordinary life can come to a stop. Things can get complicated. During that time, insurance companies are likely to pressure you. They don't care if you get better. They don't care if your medical bills are piling up. They don't care that you may not be able to work. They are here, Nicolay Law that is, to get you the compensation you deserve after an accident. So if you've gotten hurt and you're looking for help, get Minnesota's local award-winning injury lawyers. Get Nicolay at 1-855-NICOLAY or nicolaylaw.com. So we know now, based on the one leak, the leak from the Vikings, by the way, the Vikings sent a press release out. So we know one of the games is the London game against Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Just real quick, I don't like that. I feel like it's Aaron Rodgers against the Vikings. It's Jets, it's Vikings, two high-interest teams. We're going to tuck that thing away in London at 8:30 in the morning Central Time. I don't know. I need to see a little bit more from this Vikings schedule. Unless they're just trying to hide Aaron Rodgers because he's just kind of become weird conspiracy guy. I don't know. Judd, you're muted, by the way.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
There we go.
I think they have foisted so many games on London fans now that they're actually trying to give them some good matchups, which is a shame. The Bears are playing Jacksonville. Hey, that's your team. You know what? Take the Jacksonville game, right? So, yeah, I thought it would be Houston or I thought it would be the Colts. And I'm glad it's not the Texans because Hunter coming back here will be fun. But, yeah, I thought the Jets-Vikings game might be a prime time game. In fact, that's what I predicted in my mock schedule, which was wrong. So I'm a little bit surprised and I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm not crushed, but if this wasn't Rodgers, it makes perfect sense, right? The Jets, the Jets.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. Who cares? Yeah. Take the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was not my first choice for the one game that should have been played here or potentially would have been played here and got moved.
Yeah. The other interesting news that doesn't pertain directly to the Vikings, but kind of because there's some certainty on who a division rival's quarterback is going to be. Jared Goff signs a long-term contract extension with the Detroit Lions yesterday, which is interesting because when that Matthew Stafford trade was made, I think the prevailing thought was, okay, the Rams are dumping Jared Goff. They're not happy with him going forward as the franchise quarterback. They think they've gone as far as they can with Goff.
Right.
Stafford comes in. They were right, by the way. At least they were right about Stafford being the final piece to a Super Bowl puzzle.
Right.
And the thought was, okay, the Lions will take on Jared Goff, and then he'll just be replaced by whoever they draft at some point. And there's no way he gets another contract. But he's been good. He's been top 8 to 12 quarterback in the league the last couple years. And he signs a 4-year, $212 million extension. It feels like Jared Goff is stepping into that previous Kirk Cousins role of he is the exact borderline of whether you should pay a quarterback 45, whatever the going rate is at the time of the contract. This is what, 50, what's the math? $53 million a year.
And now he's got the contract. And now he's got the.
Yeah.
If I'm a Lions fan, I got to admit I'm growing a little bit concerned because that was, again, that's your Your trump card is if you're not paying the quarterback a ton, right? If you're not paying the Lions slowly but surely, and now not so slowly with Goff, are starting to lock into contracts, which I think actually might bode well for the Vikings, just like it probably helped opponents that the Vikings had in the division because Kirk's contract helped them.
But what they've done, which is interesting, is they've essentially backloaded. So they did a $73 million signing bonus that you can spread out prorated throughout the duration of the contract. So the way it works out is his 2024 base salary, Jared Goff, is just $2.6 million. I don't have the cap breakdown. The cap is going to be more than that because there's additional accounting charges. But his base is only $2.6 million in 2024, and then his base is only $18 million in 2025. Then it jumps up $55 million base, $50 million base, plus all the prorated signing bonus stuff. But they've basically, because of the length of the contract, they've pushed a lot of the accounting into 2026, 27, 28, and they've made it cap friendly for 2024 and 25. Mm-hmm. And that gives them a little bit of a window here while they're one of the best teams in the NFL to keep pieces around Jared Goff, I guess.
And what does this contract extension mean then for Jordan Love? Because he was obviously going to get a big payday too. So like, does that raise the floor of what Love's probably going to get on his next contract? I think it does. Like I don't see Jordan Love getting a lesser contract than what Jared Goff just received. So it just every other quarterback basically sets the market of the next quarterback that tries to get a big payday. So Jordan Love's probably going to get a huge payday here too. And now the Vikings have the luxury of riding out Sam Darnold on an easy 1-year contract. And hopefully if J.J. McCarthy's able to take things over and you can build out the roster and go from there. But for right now, at least, the Vikings are in a position where they don't have to overpay for a quarterback for, knock on wood, the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, and like these guys too. Well, a couple things. I do think the Packers have some ground to stand on to say to Jordan Love, listen, we really like you and you were incredible for like the final 8 to 10 games, but you haven't done it for a full season or multiple years. Like Jared Goff has been the quarterback of teams that have gone to the Super Bowl, the NFC Championship game, and he's also put up the big regular season numbers. So I do think Jared Goff has more leverage to stand on when it comes to demanding like top of the market quarterback money. But from a Vikings perspective, it's not a terrible thing that 2 of the teams that you're competing against have to pay their quarterbacks like $50+ million a year.
It's ideal.
And you don't have to worry about that. If J.J. McCarthy pans out, you don't have to worry about that for a half decade. You can re-sign Justin Jefferson, Christian Darrisaw without having to worry too much about whether you have room under the cap to fit these other pieces in.
It would be nice if Love. So I think where Love's camp does have a leg to stand on at coming back to the Packers, if they say, "Hey, we liked you, but you have not done it," is you can say that's not my fault. It's your fault. You didn't play me.
I was ready 3 years ago,
and then you did, and then you didn't pick up my 5th-year option, and then when I played well. Let's just say that if you're a Vikings fan, you should be pulling for some real quarterback acrimony in Green Bay. It'd be great.
Do you think there's gonna? I mean, they're gonna pay him though, right? Like, there's no situation where the Packers don't pay Jordan Love.
But I mean, but if they do, that's good. But my point is, if they try to strong arm him and say, "Dude, you were great last year, but until then you didn't play," and he comes back and says, "That's not my fault. That's your fault." So like, and then they're forced to write the check. This could put the Vikings in a very good position either way, right? Because if you start to tie up the cap space like the Vikings did for a long time, that's a plus. And if they piss Jordan Love off and get in a contract battle, that's a good thing for the Vikings.
Yes, although I will bring a little cold water and say, if Jordan Love, regardless of what he gets paid, plays going forward like he did in the final 8 to 10, 11 games last year, he's going to be one of the 7 to 8 best quarterbacks in the NFL going forward, especially once even more of these older guys age out and the young guys take their place in the rankings. And I mean, Jared Goff, I think, is kind of, I don't know that there's like another level. He is who he is, and he's good. He's very good. He's like I think he's a slightly better version of what Kirk Cousins has been over the past 5 or 6 years. I know you guys fought me on that take for a couple years, but like Jared Goff is who he is. Jordan Love might get better because he's only done it for 1 year. So if Jordan Love makes $50 million, but he's the 5th best quarterback in the NFL, it's still something to deal with in this division for quite some time. But hey, I'd rather have right now, I think I'd rather have the rookie scale contract quarterback, the cap space, a really good roster that you can add pieces to next offseason. I like the position the Vikings are in right now.
If you're a Vikings fan or cover this team, then it's just nice to be able to watch them from the standpoint of not having to be concerned about the fact that your quarterback is the one eating up a ton of cap space and you really don't know. Again, if it's a top 5 guy, if it's a top 3 guy, if it's a Super Bowl guy, then you're fine with it. But it's a very odd world out there with QBs and how they do get paid. So it's nice to be in a situation where we're watching a team that for the first time in what feels like forever doesn't have that restriction.
Or to even have to it's tough because you have to make these decisions on guys where, well, we like him, like the Dolphins and Tua, or what the Cowboys had to do with Dak. Well, we like him, but I guess if we want to keep him, we have to pay him $55 million. Or Tua, it's like, is it Tua or is it the fastest weapons in the league and one of the best offensive coaches? I mean, and this is what the Giants did with Daniel Jones. Like, Daniel Jones had a non-train wreck season, $40 million, and then look what happens.
I think the Packers should draw a line in the sand with Love and say, we will pay you X amount, and that's it. And I think he should hold out.
See, I think I put Love in a different category than Tua and a different category than like Daniel Jones. Some of the throws that dude was making last year.
I agree.
He's so athletic too. He's bigger.
Right. I'm just saying, ideally, I think they should have a collision course and that he shouldn't play.
You just want to watch.
He should sit out. He should sit out as long as possible to make his point. That's what he should do. Who is the Packers' backup now? Do we even know?
Let me Google that for the show here. Let's see here. Packers roster.
Mannion's a quarterback's coach there, I know.
Yeah.
Sean Mannion's taken all of our secrets to Green Bay, by the way.
He really
so
has.
many secrets. Yeah.
He knows all of the secrets.
Let's see here. Okay, the Packers quarterback room has 3 guys.
Okay.
Jordan Love.
Okay.
6-year veteran out of Penn State, Sean Clifford.
Oh, my God. He's already in his 6th year?
Oh, wait, no, sorry. 3-year veteran.
Okay,
My
okay,
bad.
yeah.
3-year veteran. Sorry.
Sean Clifford was supposed to be a really good player one time.
And then rookie Michael Pratt out of Tulane.
Right. They drafted Pratt.
Oh, yeah, Pratty.
Mm-hmm.
So that's their quarterback room. That's pretty much.
You know what I think?
Jordan Love.
Michael Pratt should start opening week while Jordan Love makes his point to the Packers.
Yeah. So, all right, that's a wrap on this Write That Down Wednesday edition of Purple Daily Vikings Entertainment. By the way, if you're interested in the Before I Die hoodie that Judd is wearing today, or the I Work Tuesdays Purple Daily crew neck or hoodie, scorenorth.com/shop. Scorenorth.com/shop.
I'm offended by that. On behalf of Kirk, I work.
It doesn't
Tuesdays.
say anything about Kirk. It says I work. It says I work Tuesdays. You're projecting your football insecurities.
It's what the days of the week represent. And that's what that means.
Yeah. We will be live, by the way. We're going to be live 7 o'clock. Judd, you and I are going to hop on and just do an immediate schedule reaction on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. And then we'll do a full breakdown of it on Thursday's episode. And we can start planning the rest of our
So we'll predict
year.
on Thursday, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because,
Yep.
I mean, that's going to be the first of 4 times at least?
Oh, I think we did 6 of them.
Okay.
6
Yeah, we did
schedule
a lot.
predictions last year.
We did a lot.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, we've already done like 2, I think, this time.
We already did one off of my mock schedule, which clearly is wrong since I had the wrong team going to.
Well, only one of them's wrong. You could get,
Oh,
you could get a
fine.
bunch of the other ones right.
You got
What if
bad
I got
information.
every other one right?
Got bad information.
We'll see. Find out at 7 o'clock Central Time tonight on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. See you guys.